We are live. What is going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for tuning in at this time. Everybody that's here, greatly appreciate it. Anybody watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Real quick, before I jump into it, that new camera, I just set it up, everything. Let me know, real quick, how the quality is. Make sure that you can hear me. Can somebody in the chat just say, like, yeah, we hear you fine, everything like that? I just want to make sure that there's no audio because I was switching everything to the new stuff. So real quick, somebody, anybody, doesn't matter. And the thing, just in the chat, just say, yeah, I hear you. You're good. So that way I know I'm not just talking to the ether. Looks good. Sounds good. Thank you. Appreciate you, Sandoval. Again, appreciate y'all. Not the best way to win, right? Talk about a stressful man. Can the Lakers just put together a game? I mean, give the Pacers credit, right? Because they just shot the lights out in that fourth quarter. They were lights out. But still, it's like, come on, man. Why do you keep dropping? I mean, even the commentator was like, why do they keep dropping? Right? Like, seriously, stop dropping. Just stand there and do what and switch everything, put your hands up, stay in front of the guy, play the right way. It's just like, man, we cannot defend anybody. But I did say that this game was probably going to be a shootout. Long as the Lakers did their job, because Indiana can't stop them. Like, the Lakers get whatever they want. Like, inside out game, heavy pick and roll, you're Gucci, you're good. And they handled it. They did it that way. They handled it the way that they should have. But man, it's one of those things where it's like, can we just get a good, solid win? Like, can we just get a non-stressful, here you go, like, fan base? That way you don't have to have a heart attack every time that there's the end of a game. It's like, but they did control the game. They were in control pretty much start to finish. I did like that. Let's get into my little rant here. All right. Spencer Dinwiddie. I've been screaming this from the top of my lungs. Every stream. I've made multiple videos. Guess what? Look forward to a video tomorrow because I'm going to rant about this for 20 minutes in a video. I'm not going to do it here this whole time, but definitely going to do it in a video. Put the ball in Spencer Dinwiddie's hands and let him run the offense. When D'Lo and LeBron go to the bench, you put the ball in Spencer Dinwiddie's hands and you let him be your offensive threat. He can score, he can pass, he can do everything. But when you just put him in the corner as a spot-up three-point shooter all game, what do you expect? It's not a coincidence that I've been screaming for them to put the ball in his hands, and the first time the Lakers actually put the ball in Spencer Dinwiddie's hands, what happens? Let's find out, shall we? Let's do this together. So, when they put the ball in Spencer Dinwiddie's hands, Spencer Dinwiddie delivers, going 8 of 11 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 8 of 9 from the foul line, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, 26 points. And we don't want to put the ball in Spencer Dinwiddie's hands? Make it make sense. Somebody tell me why Darvin Ham doesn't put guys in the proper position. I swear to you, I am going to lose my mind. If we have our game against, who is it? Is Milwaukee next? Whoever it is, I think it's Milwaukee. If we play Milwaukee, and when Spencer Dinwiddie comes in the game and D'Lo and LeBron go to the bench, if the ball is not in Spencer Dinwiddie's hands, I am going to lose my mind. Either A, do what I talked about. I made a video earlier today diving into it. Put Spencer Dinwiddie in the starting unit and Reeves to the bench. Or when D'Lo goes out the game, Spencer Dinwiddie has the ball in his hands and he's the playmaker. I swear, if Darvin Ham, I am going to lose my shit. If this wasn't a perfect example of everything I'm saying, if this isn't the third time, this isn't the 5th time, this isn't the 10th time. No, literally the very first time that the Lakers do what I've been screaming for them to do. Spencer Dinwiddie drops 26 and 5. Now, off the bench as a secondary or primary playmaker off the bench, but secondary behind D'Lo, if he's not going to average 26 and 5 off the bench, but he could average probably 10 and 5 or like 15 and 5, where if he has the ball in his hands, he can go and do what he wants to do. And then you have the occasional game where he goes off for 20, or you have the occasional game where he goes off for 15 or whatever. It's not a coincidence that I've been preaching for a month and a half now to play Spencer Dinwiddie in the role he played tonight. And it took D'Angelo Russell, who, by the way, this is the first game we've won without him. It took D'Angelo Russell not playing for Darvin Ham to go, who should I go to? Oh, yeah, Spencer Dinwiddie. Like, it drives me crazy. But anyway, rant over. I'm going to make a whole video, fancy video like I have been. I've been really trying to upgrade my game, new camera. I got a new mic, like a little microphone coming for better audio. Man, we doing big things here on Ed Stands Lakers. I appreciate you all. But let's get into the box scores, and then we'll dive into all of your super chats. I see some super chats coming in. Real quick, hit that like button, please. Take a quick second, and then hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. But I'm like sweating now because I was screaming so much. But let's start at the top. Rui Hachimura, 4 of 8 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, rough from 3-point range, but overall solid. 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 9 points. This is a game that I thought he could have been a little bit more of a mismatch. I would have put him on the block more and made them figure him out. But they kind of just went with the D'Lo or the LeBron AD matchup, which is fine. LeBron James, speaking of, 8 of 19 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, 10 assists, 5 rebounds, 26 points. He actually didn't have a great shooting night. 42%, but for LeBron standards, that's terrible, right? For like LeBron standards. And we were still able to basically control this game start to finish. Anthony Davis was a monster, man. I like how he's been playing. Just assertive, efficient, dominant, playing with a purpose, being physical. Now, obviously, I want to see that against like a Sabonis, a Jokic, whatever. But 15 to 21 from the field, 1 to 2 from 3. He keeps hitting threes, which is good. I don't want him to take a bunch of them, but take 2 a game. I'm totally okay with that, even if you miss both of them. Stretch out, make the defense have to go out and challenge to where it's respectable. I love it. But 16 rebounds, 3 offensive, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 36 points. Austin Reeves had a solid game today, 40% from 3, 46% from the field total, 11 of 12 from the foul line, even though he took like half of those in the final 30 seconds. But 25 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. He had a really solid game. Spencer Dinwiddie, already got into him, so I won't rehash that. But again, not a coincidence that you play Spencer Dinwiddie as your point guard and good things happen. Kind of odd how that worked. Outside that, Cam Reddish defensively he had some nice defensive stops. Offensively, didn't really do much, but he had a couple free throws. He was being aggressive, putting the ball on the deck. Taurean Prince was solid, 6 of 8 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 14 points. But again, play the right way, you win. It's simple, right? The Lakers didn't have as many assists as I would have liked, but it was a lot of just downhill, you try to stop us type thing. So, we only had 28 assists, but again, only 10 turnovers. I talked about it in my breakdown going into the game. Okay, share the ball. Don't turn the ball over. You're probably going to win games. It's crazy how that works. So good stuff all around. But anyway, let's dive into the super chat, and then we'll dive into all the regular chats. David, starting us off. Thank you so much, David. I really appreciate that. Go Lakers. Let Spence play. Who cares about defense? Just score 150 and win. So sad it took D'Lo to miss the game. Keep up the good work, Tyler. Well, thank you, David. First off, I really appreciate you. Yeah, and that's my point. There was zero defense in this game. But also, Indiana just went in sicko mode. They could not miss, man. Halliburton was taking crazy deep threes, hit 3 of them in a row. Right? So how much do you put to that? Like, that's just what Indiana does, right? I mean, they do that to everybody. Like, Indiana is just trying to outscore you. Like, that's their entire game plan. Like, let's just outscore you. So you knew that they were going to put up a bunch of points, especially against a defense like the Lakers. The Lakers have been terrible defensively. But glad we got this win, right? 2 down. I said we need to go 10-3, 8 more wins the rest of the way, and I think we'll be in position for that potential 7th, 8th seed. But yeah, I mean, I don't know why it took D'Angelo Russell missing this game for Darvin Ham to go, oh, well, let me play Spencer Dinwiddie on ball. Like, this should be his role always, right? I'm not saying he always has to have the ball in his hands, but more times than not, D'Lo goes to the bench. You bring in Spencer Dinwiddie, you put the ball in Spencer Dinwiddie's hands, and you let him make plays. You let him be aggressive. You let him find his shot. You let him get guys involved. You keep Austin Reeves as your 2, and you let him do what he does best, which is score the basketball. Now everyone's slotted in their proper positions. Everyone's rotating fine. Good things will happen. So hopefully that's the trend the rest of the way. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But David, really appreciate you. Thank you again. All right, let's dive into the regular chat. All right. Ugly final minutes. Yes, that's putting it nicely. Definitely. Definitely was that. Again, can we just get a win without like stressing? Like, can we just get like a good, nice, like, here you go, Laker fans. Like, here's a W. Eric. Hi, as it stands, do you believe this team can beat the Nuggets in a 7-game series? Do I believe they can? Yes. Will they? I don't know. Depends on which Laker team shows up. Like, every game, my problem with the Nuggets is, like, every game has gone the exact same way. It's like Nuggets get out to a jump. We're playing catch up. Nuggets are just kind of, we're like in striking range. There's a point in the game. Sometimes it's early, sometimes it's late, where we like either bring it to a tie or we overextend, and then like now we have a lead, and then late in the 4th, tight game, one team closes, one team doesn't, and that team is Denver. Like, every time, it's like every game we've lost to them the last like year and a half have all been the exact same sequence, like to a T. It's the same script, just different movie. Like, it's crazy. So I think the Lakers, I think part of it is just the mental. I really do think as soon as the Lakers get one win, like let's say we play them in even the first round, I really think if they, like, let's say they lose game 1, everyone's going to lose their minds. If they like win game 2, right, I think that it's over for Denver. I think because it's just kind of that, it's that mountain, right? It's like the Clippers are a great example. For like 2 years, we couldn't beat the Clippers no matter what. And we were losing the same. It was a disaster, right? Like, every time we played the Clippers, you knew L. Like, just lock it in. Those are 4 L's a year, right? And then we finally beat the Clippers, and they haven't been able to beat us since. I mean, they even had like a 21-point lead, and we just, in the 4th quarter, and we came back and beat them, right? It's just like, it's like a shooter that just can't buy a bucket. And then once you see that one go in, all of a sudden you're just draining, can't miss, right? Like, as soon as the Lakers get that first win, I really do think you're going to see that tide change. Now, does that mean that I'm not saying that they're just going to run through, like they win game 2 and they win 4-1 or anything like that, but I do think it will be a completely different series. Like, I think all of a sudden, like, the Lakers, you're just going to see a different Laker team. They just got to get over that first hump. So can they? Do I have faith that they can? Yes. Do I believe that they can? Yes. Will they, though? We'll find out. We'll see how it goes when we get there. But Christian, coming out, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Here's some change for you being right about SD. Well, thank you, Christian. I appreciate it. It's just, again, I mean, he's played a specific role his entire career. Literally, his entire career, he has played as the point guard and has been very effective in that role. And we got him because we needed that, right? Again, if we just wanted a spot up corner 3-point shooter, then we should have gotten like a Daniel House, or we should have gotten like a Joe Harris, somebody that makes sense for. But you get Spencer Dinwiddie because he's versatile, right? He could play on ball, he could play off ball, he could be a point of attack guy. He gives you some athleticism out on the perimeter, right? But it's mainly because the Lakers had a huge hole in the bench. When LeBron and AD go to the, or LeBron and D'Lo go to the bench, our offense just halts to a complete stop, right? Well, you get Spencer Dinwiddie, and it's like, well, there it goes. You fix it. Because now Spencer Dinwiddie not only can make plays for everybody and run the offense, but he can also go and score, as you just saw, right? So it's like, to me, it was a no-brainer. It was like, that's why I was so excited to get Spencer Dinwiddie. Like, so many people were like, do you really think Spencer Dinwiddie is going to have such an impact? And I was like, absolutely. Spencer Dinwiddie fixes so many of our problems. But I thought Darvin Ham was going to utilize him in the role that we saw tonight. I didn't think he was going to make him Daniel House in the corner. So that's my problem, right? Like, again, like, it's just, it's not even being about right or wrong. It's just like understanding the player that you have. It frustrates me because I'm nobody. I'm a guy that has just watches basketball, understands the game, student of the sport. Like, I'm not some like guru. I'm not some head coach. I'm not something. But to me, it's a very simple thing. It's like, come on, if I, who am just some guy, knows and understands what Spencer Dinwiddie should be doing, why doesn't our head coach? Like, again, I wasn't like a retired coach for the NBA or something. I wasn't a college coach. I'm just a guy. I'm a fan, just like the rest of you, right? Yes, I'm blessed enough to be in this position to be able to have, a following and stuff, and I'm very thankful, but I'm just a guy. I'm not an insider. I'm nothing. And if just a guy can see it blatantly and know what the issue is, why can't our head coach? That concerns me. That's a real problem. But anyway, I appreciate you. Thank you. D'Lo, coming up, $2 super chat. Hello, as it stands. It's me, LeBronto. First dono. I love the work. Well, thank you. Seriously, I appreciate it, LeBronto. Change it to D'Lo. I love it. Look, I've been a huge D'Lo guy. But this was. Hey, look, again, got a great win. Now it's luckily you don't get style points in the NBA, right? Because man, the last two games, if we got style points, we would have been in big trouble. But glad we were able to get the win, and I really do appreciate you, seriously. RJ, don't you think Harry Giles should get a look since Jay Hayes is not going to last 8 minutes in the playoffs? I don't mind if they do. I don't know why Darvin Ham hasn't gotten at least some looks on him, right? Like, you brought him in for that purpose, to get him some burn, to give him some run. I mean, I think if I had to guess, part of it is probably like, hey, we don't really have time to mess around. And it's like, at least Hayes knows the system. Like, you kind of know what you're going to get with Hayes, right? And he's just kind of there to give AD a few minutes of rest, not really to play some huge significant role. So if I had to guess, that's probably what it is. However, I would like to see a couple like structured minutes. Like, he's got minutes in garbage time, but my problem with garbage time minutes is like there's no structure, right? Like, guys are just out there playing. You're just trying to milk the clock. You're just trying to get the game over, right? Guys are trying to get their stats up because they finally get in the game and stuff. It's not like real basketball. It's not like if he was in the starting unit or the bench unit or in the actual rotation where there's structure and he's actually running plays and setting picks and doing the work, right? So do I think that they should? Yes. If I had to guess, I think part of it is Darvin Ham. But I also think part of it is like we just don't have time to see, right? To me, I think that they brought in Giles as a break glass in case of emergency type guy. I think if he sees any minutes, it'll be garbage time. The problem is we can't even carry him into the playoffs. So, because he's on a two-way. So, I don't know. It's going to be, I just think that they're not giving him looks for those reasons, if I'm being honest. But we'll see. Time will tell. It'd be nice to kind of just give him a couple minutes. Like, let's see what the key can do, right? But I think it was like, hey, let's lock this guy up for for the future more than like right now. Tyler, do you think? Ooh, come on, Tyler. Do you think we did a good job on Halliburton, or was it more of a bad game? I know. I think they did. They didn't do great, especially at the end. I didn't like that. Right? Like, stop dropping. Like, all they have is to just throw up Hail Marys and pray. So, like, at least go out and contest. I understand you don't want to foul or anything, but you don't have to. At least just like be within distance. But outside of like the 3 straight threes he made and stuff, like I thought we did a fine job of like trying to get the ball out of his hand at times, containing him to an extent. It wasn't anything like he struggled shooting the field from the field. He also had a couple just like gimmies that he usually makes that he misses. But yeah, I mean, we did our job on him, right? He's the engine that gets everything going. And to basically, like, he was basically a non-factor scoring wise until the end of the game. But he still was, dropping dimes, doing things, getting them initiated and set. But yeah, I think that they did a good job. Like, if I had to grade it, I'd say B, probably. Like, I thought they didn't do, like, it wasn't like A plus, but I thought, given that like he's their best player and could go off for 30 and 20, right? Like that we basically kept him as a non-factor till the end of the game, I think was good. Let's see. Bad coaching by him. Why not go for the kill up 17 to LeBron AD of the start of fourth quarter? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just depends on how you look at it. I mean, most coaches don't really go for it. Most coaches are like, oh, you're up 17. Like, let's give our guys some rest, see if the bench unit can extend it. Because if the bench extends it, then you don't have to play them at all. And then they get to sit the whole, like, if our bench comes out and they extend that to 30, then LeBron and Anthony Davis never have to see the court. And then if it goes the way that it did, then it's like, okay, get them back in. So I understand, like, the logic. And like, it's one of those things that I was thinking about when we watched the game, like, man, maybe they should just have went for the kill shot, right? But I don't know. It's kind of one of those things. It's like there's not really a right or wrong answer, right? Because I mean, look, they just got hot. You could have played LeBron and AD, and they still, and the same results still happen, right? But your hope is you rest LeBron and AD, the bench at least maintains it, right? Because if they maintain it the entirety and the rest of the way, then you're good. Like, you don't need to bring them back in. So your hope is that they at least just keep it, within like you give them like a 5 to 7 point gap, right? And as long as they stay within that gap, you just keep LeBron and AD on the bench. Unfortunately, they closed that gap, and then it was like, all right, you got to get these guys back in. So I don't know. I mean, I understand people being upset about that, but I also understand people not. It's kind of like, it's one of those things. It's like, there's not really a right or wrong answer. Do you think it's possible for the Rockets to overtake the Warriors for the 10 seed? Absolutely. They're only like a game back. They're on like an 8-game win streak, something like that. Absolutely. The Warriors keep losing. Yeah, they lose a couple more games, and the Warriors are on like a 5-game road trip. So they could very well get overtaken. I mean, Lakers need to make sure that they're doing their job too. Lakers have a pretty good gap from them. I think it would take something like really significant for the Lakers to be overtaken. But yeah, like the Warriors, I mean, they're right on the Warriors behind. So yeah. Is this it? In what regards? Hopefully this is the turning point. Keep winning. And we're also finally 7 games over 500. That's nice for the first time this year. And we're on a 3-game win streak? Come on, if Houston can win 8 straight games, although like 5 of those 8 were against like bottom feeding teams. But I mean, if the Lakers, if they can win, and they've done that like 5 times this season. If the Lakers can do something like that, we'd be in really good shape. Let's go. This team's trying to kill the fan base via heart attack. I get it now. Yeah, facts. Man's with the goggles on Indiana is straight a baby food. Oh my God, bro did not stand a chance against AD. As soon as he checked, they said, "Oh, Dak, yeah, we won, peeps. Keep positive." Yeah, absolutely. Pacers are a bad defensive team. Every player can have a great night against them. Yeah, they're not great. I mean, they've been more improved lately, but they're still not like great. Um, Tyler, just wanted to hear your thoughts on this trade idea. Bulls and Lakers trade Austin, Rui, and Gabe for Zach, Nikola V, Caruso, and 3 first round. The Lakers are getting 3 first rounders, or the Lakers are trading 3 first round. If the Lakers are getting 3 first rounders, sure. Um, I mean, trading Austin, Rui, Gabe. I don't know. I don't think the numbers work. So yeah, because I mean, Zach's making 40 million. Nicola's making 20, so that's 60 million right there, plus Caruso, let's say 10. So you're talking $70 million. Rui and Gabe get you 28, Austin. So that's like 40 million. So you wouldn't even be able to do that if you wanted to. But like if the Lakers got like Nikola Vu and Alex Caruso, I don't think I'd trade 3 firsts for them. But if they could get some combination of that, Zach LaVine, like I wouldn't mind Zach. He's got to be healthy. But it's just I don't know, it's tough. But unfortunately, the Lakers wouldn't even be able to do that. Um, how did Pacers have the best offense in the league at one point? They're so mid. I'm not trolling. No, I mean they still do at times. They're still like top 5, I think. I know that they've had a couple skids. They've also played a little slower since Pascal Siakam. That's why the Siakam move was kind of like really a little questionable. But like they had like a historically great offense at one point, like literally all time great at one point. But I mean, it's hard to maintain that level of offense. But let's see what else. We always win, yo. I wish that was the case, but I appreciate you. You said it might be a shootout in your vid, and it was. Lakers scored 150. Also, Dinwiddie played way better in the starting role, which makes me think to start him and bench Reeves because Reeves plays worse off the bench. Yeah. Wait, Reeves plays worse off the bench? I'm assuming you mean Dinwiddie plays worse off the bench. Yeah, no, I that was one of the big things I highlighted in my video earlier was that the Lakers very likely they're going to be in a shootout just because the Lakers defense is basically non-existent with like Vando and everybody out. So and Indiana can't stop us. Like we're just a terrible matchup for Indiana. So figured that this would. I mean, I didn't necessarily think it'd be 150 to like 100 and what was it 44 or something like that. 146, whatever it was. What was it? 145. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be like that type of shootout, but I thought it would be kind of a back and forth. Lakers go up by like 10, Indiana goes up by 10, Lakers go back up by 5, Indiana goes. I just thought it was just going to be this like high scoring, high octane game, which it was, but at least the Lakers pretty much had control over it the majority of the game, right? To start, Indiana kind of had it, but then we took control in the second and just never really looked back, which is good. So for them to do that in a shootout is good. But it's just, I mean, that's not ideally how you want to play, you want it to be a little more balanced. Steaks coming out $2 super chat. McCollum torched us. Ham failed to answer. Shaking my head. Yeah. I mean, DJ's one of those guys, man. Like he's one of those guys that never gets talked about, but he's like that dude can ball. Right? Like he's a guy like I would love on the Lakers, like off the bench. He would be fantastic. I mean, Darvin Ham. I mean, at this point, we all kind of know what the deal is with Ham. It's unfortunate, but it's the reality. Again, I don't think it's a coincidence that the thing I've been screaming for a month and a half, Darvin Ham finally does not because it sparked and the light bulb went off, but no, it was because D'Lo missed the game. I don't think it's a coincidence that the first time Spencer Dinwiddie gets a significant like on-ball duties, the guy drops 26 and 5. Like I just don't think that that's a coincidence. And hopefully Darvin Ham goes, oh, maybe I should do this from now on. We'll see how it goes, but fingers crossed. because that was also the first, if I'm not mistaken, that was the first game we've won without D'Lo. So, um, being a Laker fan is having an average heart rate of 500 BPM. Spence was magnificent tonight. I thought he should start aside D'Lo and move Reeves to the bench. Yeah, I made a whole video breaking it down. Made a whole video diving into that. They absolutely should do that. Let's see, Tyler. LeBron's face looked sad throughout the game. Did you notice that? Like he wasn't excited at any point. Man looks stressed. I mean, he was getting hacked and he wasn't getting called. I mean, there was like 3 times where he was just sitting there instead of getting back on defense, which drives me crazy. He's like just screaming at the refs. Like, get back on defense, dude. I understand you didn't get the foul, but come on. Almost sold the game as usual, you say. Tyler Gunn Hollywood on us HD. Yeah, I know. I upgraded. At least the camera looked good. Like I have it playing on my thing because it's usually like because before that I was just using like the laptop's camera, which is like it's fine, but it's not like great. And then this camera was supposed to be like one of the better ones, so I was like, all right, well let's try to do some upgrades. I have like little mics coming for like better audio, so I can like plug it in to like my phone or my thing because I wanna test soon. Once I get that mic, I want to test because YouTube unveiled like vertical live streaming, so I wanted to like try that on my phone, like because that's pretty cool. Because before, like I've been places like a game or something like that, and like I want to like talk to you guys and like make content and stuff like at the game, and it's like hard because like you can't see anything. So now it's supposed to be like how I guess TikTok is. So I'm gonna test that pretty soon. So look forward to that. We'll do a couple like just random like phone live streams because if I can do like some live streams on my phone and stuff, that'd be cool, right? Especially like if I'm out somewhere, like if I'm on vacation or something, and it's like like let me go live real quick, or if I can't get a video up, I can just go live, talk to you guys for a little bit to just get content up. It'd be a lot more convenient. Um, Tyler Halliburton or Brunson? That's tough. I really like Halliburton a lot. Like him as like your engine, your playmaker defensively. I mean Brunson's solid. Like right now, I would probably take Brunson. Long term, I'd probably take Halliburton. Halliburton's still like, isn't he only like 22 something like that? Is this the turnaround of the turnaround of the turnaround? Is LeBron? I'll get him. Hopefully this is it. Hopefully. Spencer balled the F out. Yes, because he got to play his role. When he gets to play his role, he's good. I mean, this is a guy that's averaged like 19 and 9 on numerous occasions for other teams as like your point guard. Let him do that. I don't see Harry Giles is getting no run with how garbage Jackson Hayes is. Yeah. Reeves should be the 6th man. I agree. I am with you. Spencer Dinwiddie needs to start next to Vando and D'Lo. I'm totally game for that. Have Spencer and Vando out there defending out on the perimeter would be beautiful. Giving up a 19-point lead was horrible. I mean, luckily we didn't give it up, but like, yeah, we let them in it. We didn't keep it 19. I mean, it's the NBA, right? 19-point leads are not what they used to be, but still, like, I definitely don't like it. But a couple positives. 1, we won the game. 2, we never actually lost the lead, which is good. Tyler's about to bust one. He's literally been preached. It's just, it drives me crazy, man. Just again, I'm just a guy. Like if I know what the correct answer is, somebody that's being paid millions to do it should know what the correct answer is. Right? Like God, like if all it takes is that, then please, I'll do that for half the price. I'll do that for a 10th. You don't even have to pay me a couple million. Give me like a couple $100,000. Like let me and my family be straight. And, I'm good. Let's do it. I'll coach the Lakers. Dinwiddie looks good running the point. Yep. D'Lo Spence or D'Lo Vando starting with Rui. I think so. I still kind of like the idea of like going big, right? Like come the postseason and going like D'Lo, Vando, Rui, LeBron, and AD, and then having LeBron shift to the 3 and be like, hey, dude, it's the playoffs. Life sucks. Deal with it. Right? Having LeBron basically out, because now you have Vando and LeBron out on the perimeter. Now you have the foot speed, you have the size, you have the athleticism, you have got 2 guys that can lock down defense. LeBron picks and chooses when to play defense, which is the concern. But he has shown, and he has a great, when he's actually engaged defensively, he's holding opponents under 40%. He's been very good when he's locked in and focused. So if you could get that, I would tell LeBron, look, give me the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes. That's it. I just need the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes. And then we'll get you some minutes at the 4. We'll get you some minutes doing other things. I just need you the first 5 minutes to just rebound, because that would help with the offensive rebounding. That would help with the athleticism out on the perimeter. That would help with the size. Also, Rui is 3 rebounds more a game when he plays the 4 as opposed to the 3. I mean, however you slice it, that'd be great. Otherwise, yeah, get Spencer in there. But I do like the idea of the size. And then you have Spencer, Austin as your 2 guys. You trickle in some Gabe Vincent in there. And then you could go with Prince, Reddish, and Hayes. There you go. Let's see. Yes, Tyler. You spitting facts. We need Spence to replace Austin. Yeah. Just come on, man. Again, if I could see it, you should be able to see it. Even if he doesn't want to start him, that's fine. Okay. You don't have to start him. You love Austin Reeves. I get it. I love Austin Reeves. I would do what's best for the team, though. But whatever. If you want to do that, you want to keep him in the starting, fine. Cool. Gotcha. But as soon as Dinwiddie gets in the game and D'Lo is not in the game, even when because D'Lo's so good off ball and has been such a good shooter this year, I would still put the ball in Spencer's hands. I'm not saying every possession that Spencer's on the court, he has to have the ball in his hands. But I'm saying a good majority of the time, here you go, Spence. Go run the offense as you should. That's why we brought you in. It's crazy. Let's see what else. You're right all the time. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, most of the things that I say is not just random. It's usually educated. A great win against a good team without D'Lo. Spencer played like the player he was in Dallas. He was amazing. I agree. Spence is better playing the point. Yeah. Again, I don't think it's a coincidence that the first game, I'm just going to keep saying it. I don't think it's a coincidence that the first game he gets to play the point guard, he's great. It's odd that the role he's played his entire career, he gets to play for the Lakers and he's great. It's amazing how that works, right? It would almost be if you had, if you were playing Austin Reeves at center and you moved him to the 2, it's Austin, why is Austin Reeves better at the 2 than the center position? Because he's not a center. It's just make it make sense. Lakers will go 5-1 on the road trip, lost to Milwaukee. I could see that. Like I said, the 3 losses that I have the Lakers slated to lose are the Celtics, or not Celtics, the Bucks, the Pacers on the road. Because again, it's just really hard to beat a team twice in a 4-game span. It's just tough. And then one of the Cavs or the Timberwolves, one of those 2. Those are the only 3 that I think you can argue to lose. Now, again, maybe the Lakers beat Indiana on the road and then end up losing to both Minnesota and Cleveland, and that's the 3 losses. My point is, I don't think you can afford more than 3 losses. Is the thing. We need some Western teams to start losing, though, man. Let's see. First win of the year without D'Lo. Yep. And again, I don't think it's a coincidence that when you have Spence, it does it. We're winning it all. It wouldn't surprise me. Happy Sunday, fun day, Tyler. You and Trevor Lane called it. Adding Dinwiddie, W8 point guard. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point. You got to just play him as the point. It doesn't make any sense to do otherwise. Again, if I can see it, Trevor Lane can see it. If other people can see it, then it's something that needs to be done. Darvin Ham should be able to see it. D'Lo Spence start, Reeves to the bench, say less. I am with it. Spencer is a baller, no doubt about it. We 2 games up on the Warriors. They play the Heat next, and hopefully they lose. They're on a 5-game road trip, so they need to drop a couple games here. We can beat anyone, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Spencer doing what he always did with other teams. Ham is just trash as a coach, starting Reeves over Dinwiddie. Yeah, agreed. Again, I don't mind. Like, if you want to start Reeves, right, and have Dinwiddie as your primary ball handler off the bench, fine. But you need to have him as your primary ball handler off the bench. Stop this nonsense. Reeves' defensive IQ is, yeah, it's just, and it's weird because he wasn't great last year, but he was at least serviceable. He was at least respectable. You could at least have him on the court, and he wasn't getting torched every possession. But now, like this year, it's like teams just, they see him on the court and they're just like, it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy how it works. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Lee coming out to $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Prime Chuck or Prime AD or Prime Hakeem? Wait, Prime Chuck or Prime 80 plus 80 or Hakeem? Or I'm assuming plus Prime Hakeem. Out of everybody, I'd probably take Hakeem. Hakeem was special, man. That dude was. After that, personally, I would probably take Anthony Davis. I just think Anthony Davis is more versatile. Don't get me wrong, Chuck was tough, but AD is rare. He is special. Him by himself makes you an average defensive team. I just think you can do more with AD, and also especially in today's NBA, I just think teams match up a little better with Chuck than Anthony Davis. So yeah, I'd probably go with Prime Hakeem, then AD, then Chuck. But that's tough. I don't think that there's a wrong answer there, period. Great question, Lee. Appreciate you. Stakes coming out $2 super chat. Do you think the Cavs and Bucks rest some starters? It's very possible. So I talked about that. I actually, if I'm not mistaken, I did a video breaking that down. But it is very, so here, let's pull it up. Here, while we're here, because there's a couple teams I could see. Here, we'll do this all together because I'm sure there's people. Excuse me. Oh, big stretch. All right. So, well, they already have the playoff picture thing. I just want the regular. Okay, there's a regular standing. That's cool though. They have the little playoff picture thing here. Okay, so you look at the Bucks. Here, let me pull this up too. So Milwaukee is still in a fight. So Milwaukee definitely, I don't see sitting anybody. If Giannis is still dealing with issues, I could see that maybe, but they're not out of the clear yet for the Cavs. So they could probably do that. To me, Cleveland, so the Cavs, I think, depends on where they are. If they're still in a fight for the 3 seed, then yes, I think they play everybody. If they basically have, because they are without Mitchell and stuff like that. If Mitchell doesn't come back and they're basically the 4 seed, I could see them maybe hey, let's just be healthy and getting into it. Same thing with Minnesota. It depends on where Minnesota is. Right now, Minnesota's still in a dogfight for the 1 seed. If they're still in that fight, then they play everybody. If they're not, if basically let's say they have the 3 seed locked up, then I think that they could sit some people. Same thing with the Pelicans, right? Pelicans might have Brandon Ingram the rest of the way, but if they get to the end of the season, which is the last game against the Lakers, and they have, say, they have the 4 seed or the 5 seed or whatever. What are they? 6 seed. Let's say they have the 5 seed locked up. If they have the 5th seed locked up and basically like they're not going to be able to catch the 4, they're not going to be able to catch 6. I could see them sitting people. So like, yeah, I mean, Bucks aren't going to sit anybody. Pacers aren't going to sit anybody. And then you got like the Raptors, the Wizards, the Cavs, the Timberwolves. Warriors aren't going to sit anybody because they're probably going to be fighting until the end. So it's possible. I wouldn't count on it, but I also wouldn't be surprised. I just think it depends on how the rest of the league plays out. Right now, I would say no, nobody will. Because one, it's the Lakers. Two, everybody's still fighting for seeding. So unless something happens to change that, I don't think that that's going to change. But changing that shirt would be a good and quick upgrade. Throw out this shirt. It's just a throw-out shirt. I'm just chilling. I'm sitting here watching the game. I could just wear the black shirt, but I was just like, oh, let me throw something over because why not? Looks a little better, right? I'm like in basketball shorts and just living my best life watching the game. I do this for you, SW. God. Change the shirt. Let's go. Rockets might really take the Warriors spot, which is crazy. Yeah. And the Warriors, we were like, everyone was talking about the Warriors getting back into the standings, right? Because they had like one of the easiest schedules the rest of the way. Everything is just crazy. That's why I keep saying, man, don't be shocked. Like a lot happens. That's why I don't like to speak in definitives. That's why I don't like to, like people are always like, why do you always think that, the Lakers can do this? Because if you watched enough sports, crazy things happen. Everyone thought, if you asked a month ago, were the Warriors going to be fighting for the 6th seed? Everyone would have said yes because they're like, oh, man, the Warriors schedule is super easy. Now they might miss the play-in entirely, right? Like things can change very quickly in the NBA. Like what? And a bunch of these teams play each other still. Like teams got to lose, right? Just saying. Maybe Ham notice and think about what LeBron said, that Dinwiddie is a game changer and they need to unlock that. I hope so. I'm telling you, if he doesn't play the primary ball handling role off the bench in the next game, I'm going to lose my mind. Finally won 3 straight. I would love a 8 to 10 game winning streak. But I might be asking for too much. I would love that too. But like I'm fine if they win, right? If they go 10-3 in their 13 games, like that's fine in whatever order, right? I don't care where they lose the games. But I mean, I would like a nice, like, can we get like a 7-game win streak, or like a 6-game win streak, something like that, where it's like, all right, cool. We only need to win like 3 more games the rest of the way, right? Or at least make us feel like we're fighting for something, right? Get into that conversation, get into that hunt. But look, it's never too late. You never know. I would enslave myself to as it stands Lakers if the Warriors get knocked out completely. I'm gonna hold you to that. You better remember that. Folding State is hella watched. Bench Reeves. I'd play Rockets over Golden State any day. Likewise. Well, yeah, especially in a single elimination game. I mean, just Steph is still Steph, man. And like Clay, he still had games where I know he hasn't been the same, but it's not out of the realm of possibility for Steph and Clay to just shoot the lights out for one game. And it's like we could play as good as we could possibly play, and they still just beat us. So those are definitely concerns. But speaking of Andrew, coming in hot 2 super chat, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. 1 and 2 seeds are no longer safe. Precedent is over. Yeah, it's just there's not like every like the NBA as a whole is just changing a lot, right? I mean, again, even just like the teams in the West, period. Like you look at the like top 10 teams in the West, and it's like you could genuinely make an argument for all of them, literally all of them, right? Like when does that happen? Where you have like 10 teams that you could literally make an argument that like, hey, like the Warriors could win the chip, no one would think otherwise. Lakers could win the chip, nobody would think otherwise. Right now, there's teams that you have an argument for more than others, but also like the 1 and 2 seeds are usually the teams that are young, hungry. Like the veteran teams don't really. Like, do you think Denver cares where they're seated? No. Like, would they? Do they want to be the one seed? Sure. But if they have to, if they like, they just want to be healthy, right? If they end up going through the playoffs and they have to play, like they're still going to be at home. Like obviously they don't want to be like the eighth seed or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, the precedent is over. It really is. It's no longer safe. Darvin Ham will cost the Lakers in the playoffs. He's a stubborn and blind coach. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, he was good in the playoffs last year. It's not because he's a good coach in the playoffs. Like it's just it's everything simplified in the playoffs. You saw in like the in-season tournament too, right? Like Darvin Ham's just going to put the ball in LeBron and AD's hands, run the inside-out game, heavy LeBron AD pick and roll, make teams have to stop it. The problem is like when you run into a Denver and they can match that. That's where the problem is. Like as long as teams can't match it, which there's very few teams that can, then the Lakers will be fine and Darvin Ham will look good. But as soon as you run into like a Denver or like if we run into a Boston or something, those are the teams that I get concerned about. However, Boston, I'm not going to lie, I don't really worry about as much as I do Denver because Joe Mazzulla might be the only coach that's like as bad, if not worse, than Darvin Ham. So like that would just be like who costs their team more in that matchup. We'll see. Andrew, Philly, Miami, 7-8 seed versus Boston and Milwaukee, which is crazy to think about. I did a video on As Stand Sports about Miami earlier today. And it's just like, yeah, man, imagine. I actually think Miami might beat the Bucks in the first round again. Like last year, I know Miami won last year. I think if Giannis never got hurt, I don't think Miami wins that series. But this year, Milwaukee's not the same team, right? Drew Holiday, they were just better structured defensively, everything. Right? Like they're defensively, they're terrible this year. And Miami's Miami. And they match up well. Right? Like, I don't know. I think I would not be shocked if Miami beats Milwaukee in the first round. Philly beating Boston, that I think is going to be a little tough. I wouldn't be shocked though. It just depends on what Joel Embiid you're getting. Like how healthy is Joel Embiid? Like if he's like 100%, then I definitely think Philly could give them some trouble and make a splash. The problem I have with Philly though is Joel Embiid just disappears at times. Like literally like entire games in the playoffs just gone. So that's my concern. But man, I'm excited for the playoffs. I like genuinely. This year's playoffs is going to be lit. Let's see. Tyler, the rap guy. Lakers were that close to forcing a Tyrese appearance. I can feel it. Yeah, it's the only reason he's not here. I'm not gonna lie. I need to see us with Vando beat a solid team for me to gain that championship hope again. I feel it. We definitely need Vando. Like I don't know, can we still win without Vando? Sure, but I think it's very, very tough. LeBron is gonna have a generational playoff run. I think I'm talking 2018 time. If he's healthy, like fully healthy, I wouldn't be shocked if LeBron just like. If we had a fully healthy LeBron last year, I don't think we get swept by the Lakers or by the whatchamacallit, Nuggets. Great energy tonight, Tyler. Yes, agree. I liked how they played. They played like a team that knows that they need to win, right? I'd rather have Tyler Espino as our coach. Yeah. Let's see. Tyler's finally learning from all the times I've reminded him he's just a man. I should give myself a pat on the back. Thank you, Bucka. That's why you're here. It's the only reason I keep you around, just to whisper in my ear. You're only a man. Let's see. I just need the mother effing playoffs to start. I'm right there with you. Let's get into the playoffs. I'm with you. Darvin Ham does not know how to utilize talent, which drives me crazy. We had a 17-point lead in this game. We did. And we still ended up pulling it out, which is good. I don't like that we let them creep back into it, but I think this road trip is going to determine everything. We can't afford to lose 2 or 3 games in a row. Agreed. We cannot lose multiple games in a row. We cannot. If we go on like a 2 or 3 game losing streak, I think that's it. But like if we lose a game, like let's say we lose to Milwaukee, it's not panic mode, right? As long as we bounce back the next game, we're good. We'll be fine. But my concern is like if we don't, we gotta we got the Bucks next, then you got the Grizzlies, right? Like if you lose to the Bucks and then lose to the Grizzlies, that's fine. Again, I have them losing 2 out of their next 3. Like I said, you beat the Bucks, you lose to the Bucks, you beat the Grizzlies, you lose to the Pacers, you beat the Nets, you beat the Raptors, you beat the Wizards, and then you lose to one of the Cavs, one of the Timberwolves. That was what I was saying when we had 13 games left. Now, I would love if they beat the Bucks, beat the Grizzlies. Like if they I would love if they didn't lose a game the rest of the month, right? Which would give them what? How many game win streak would that be? That'd be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 game win streak. Can they go on a 7-game win streak? I mean, look, they should be able to beat the Bucks, right? Like if the Lakers were at home against Milwaukee, I would be like the Lakers are going to win that game. On the road, that's where I have my concerns because the Lakers have been bad on the road. But they got 6. You got a 6-game road trip coming up. You got to win 4 out of those 6. Again, Bucks, Pacers, fine. But you got to beat the Grizzlies, got to beat the Nets, got to beat the Raptors, got to beat the Wizards. You got to go 4-2 on this road trip. You go 4-2 on this road trip, I think Lakers will be fine. Lakers will be good because then you get into April, and then you have after the road trip, you'd have the Cavs, the Timberwolves, the Warriors all at home. It's 3 games at home, and then you got the Grizzlies and the Pelicans to round out the season on the road. But both of those teams are basically packed in at that point, so that should be good for the Lakers. Just got to do your job, play your part. Andrew, coming out $2 super chat. The Thanos 3-point percentage on his volume needs to be studied. Yeah, man, he's shooting like 41% from 3. Something like that, 41 or 40.5%, I think is what it is. But yeah, he's been excellent this year shooting the 3 ball. If he can continue that, like he's gonna play a couple more years. Like easily, because it allows him to kind of take pressure off the stuff. So it's crazy. It is really crazy to see how he's just been evolving, right? It's just like a couple years, he just evolves a little. That'd be great. But I appreciate you. Let's see. Lakers need to sign Dwight Howard before the playoffs. They won't. Because the only way that they could do that is they have to waive somebody. And the problem is if you waive somebody, then that means that affects your cap next season. And the Lakers aren't going to do that, right? Imagine if you could have gotten Donovan Mitchell, but now you can't because you waived Christian Wood to sign Dwight Howard, right? Like, because it just affects your cap, right? Like, so now you got to I'm not saying that that'd be the case, but like signing free agents, like it just, that extra $2 million that you'd use, and it'd actually be more than that because you're paying tax and all kinds of stuff, but it's not worth it for them. It really isn't. It's not worth it for them. This is our team. We're basically stuck. And Dwight Howard, again, he's not the answer. I've said it before. If anybody thought Dwight Howard was still the Dwight Howard he was, don't you think somebody would have signed him by now? Like, don't you think any team, like even the Thunder, don't you think that they would have signed him? Right? Like, hey, he could help us in case we play Jokic, but no one's like running to the door to sign Dwight. Let's see. We need Dallas, Sacramento to drop a game, and we need to touch 45 wins before 35 losses. Yeah. I think we get to 46, 47 wins. I said early on 45, but the way we closed February and the way that we've been trotting along in March, I think we get to 46, 47 wins. Tyler, you were right about Spencer. I didn't think Darvin would listen to you. I don't think he listened to me. I just think he kind of had no choice, right? It's like, who else was he going to start, right? You lost your main playmaker. You don't have Gabe Vincent back. I don't think it was like, I don't think it was. I just think it was out of like necessity. I don't think it was like Darvin Ham had a light bulb moment, or like he watched one of my videos of me screaming at him to do it. I mean, I'd love to think that. Imagine if Darvin Ham's like just starts. Somebody email him my videos. Tell him to call me. Like now, email me, reach out to me. We'll talk. Just throw me like a couple hundred G's, and I'll fix your coaching. I'll help you. Don't even trip. Just give me like 10% of your salary, and just you can call me whenever you want. Like, hey Tyler, what do you think we should do about this matchup? And I'll break it all down for you. Don't worry. Don't worry, Darvin. I'm here to save. I'm here to save the day. It's not talked about enough. His three cost us last year. Oh man, I talked heavily about his 3-ball last year. Man, he was literally shooting us out of games last year. It was infuriating. But he hasn't taken as many this season. He was averaging like 7 or 8 a game last year. He's only averaging around 5 this year. So he cut down and he's shooting better efficiency, right? Like if he can just keep this up, like long term. You also posted, which again I appreciate you. If Bron shoots like this in the playoffs, we going all the way. Yeah, like he it just opens up so much for this team. Like seriously, it just opens up a ton for this team. So I'm hoping that continues, not even just this year, but as years continue on, as years continue to play. Because I mean, that's the way that he can extend his career if he becomes serviceable 3-point shooter, like 5 or 6 attempts. I mean, he's always. I don't think he's ever going to be bad, like because he's just his IQ and everything. But if he can develop a 3-point shot, he's gonna be tough. Because he's just such a tough matchup for everybody. And now he's knocking down threes. It's like, how do you defend him, right? Because like you can't play into him because he's just gonna blow by you. You can't give him space because he's just gonna shoot over you. Right? Good luck, right? Like, man, he's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. They let Siakam get to the rim too much in the third. They didn't even try to defend. Yeah, man, that was driving me crazy. Like literally, he was just like walking to the rim every possession. It was maddening. Bro, you stole my shirt. I can't. Reeves played. Reeves plays the same whether he starts or not. I don't know why we don't have Dinwiddie starting, and that surprised him. He can hoop. Actually, so the stat wise, it's the same. Efficiency wise, Austin Reeves is actually better off the bench. Like in literally every category. He's better, like even free throw percentage is better, like 3-point shooting from the field, like everything. He's better, or he's more efficient off the bench than he is starting the season. And he's played like a quarter of the season off the bench. So I do think that they should start him. But all right, I'm going to power through a couple more questions here and then skate on out because I got a lot of videos to dive into. My first video tomorrow, you best believe, is going to be a rant about Spencer Dinwiddie. So look forward to that. It's going to be my Spencer Dinwiddie video. All right. Ham is simply schematically challenged. You can't make adjustments for ish. Yeah, he's not good with the X's and O's, which is crazy because he was supposed to be. Last year he looked half decent with it, but it's like if there's a good medium and bad choice, Ham is taking the bad one like 8 out of 10 times. Yeah, seriously, drives me bananas. You didn't like it, however. 8-3 is now looking better. Like Adamas, 11 games remaining. Yeah, I'm so far. I'm looking good in my little prediction. You know, Laker Adamas still stands for now. We still got, like I said, 8 more to go. 2 down, 8 more to go. I'd love to just rattle those all off at once. That'd be beautiful. And it's like, yes. But we'll see. Let's get into Lee coming out with the super sticker. What is it? I hate how StreamYard doesn't show me. Is that a Dragon Ball? No, I think it's a coin with a star. Yeah, coin with a star on it. It looked like a Dragon Ball for a second. I was like, oh, did you just send me a Dragon Ball? I was like, that's dope. They have that. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Seriously. Really appreciate you. Give me Prime AD over Prime Hakeem. 90s players suck. Hakeem's footwork was like elite, though. Man, that dude, like, there are some play. Like, I know everyone's like the whole trend is like everyone's over the 90s. There were a lot of guys in the 90s that were good, that would be able to compete in today's NBA and stuff like that. But now there were a lot of players. Again, I've said it before. There are guys on the end of the bench that you've never heard of that would probably be all-stars in the 90s and maybe even like somebody like James Jones Jr., right? Like, dude, his athleticism back in like the 90s would have been elite, right? Like, it just, there's literally guys at the end of the bench that you never heard of that, yeah, would be superstars back then, just because they had the athleticism and things that they didn't have. NBA has so much parity, yeah, which is great. That's what you want to see, right? Like you want to have nice balance, right? You want to feel like, I mean, from an organizational standpoint, from like a fan standpoint, you're like, nah, I want the Lakers to win every year. But from like an organizational standpoint and for the sport itself, that's good. You want that. No way Missoula is as bad as him. He's not far off, man. You watch that guy coach sometimes. You're just like, dude, like, is that real? He's probably not as bad, but man, Missoula's rough to watch sometimes. Like for real, for real. Yeah, he just literally has an all-star team. Lillard is disappointing. AF wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to leave. Yeah, he has not looked great. All right. Oh, and we got super chat. Let me pull that up. Andrew coming in hot with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. I agree with you now, Tyler. Any matchup, I'll take. I will. Look, I would rather. To me, it's like give me the chance. Right? Like that's my whole thing. It's like just give me the chance. Right? Like if you told me, hey, you can miss the playoffs, or you can play Denver in the first round. Give me Denver. Like to me, that's a no-brainer, right? Like even if the Lakers get swept again, like yeah, it sucks, but I'd rather have the chance than not play at all, or you get some crazy circumstances, right? And it's like, and the problem is like they're literally fighting at the top, and that's probably going to go down to the last game. So like when we were talking about it, whatever it was, like a week or whatever ago it was, Andrew. Like my whole thing was like, my whole argument was like, we don't know, like we could purposely try to avoid Denver and still run into Denver. And then it's like, let's say we get the 7th, 8th seed, right? And Denver's the number 2 seed. Are we supposed to purposely lose the play-in game to like avoid Denver? And then now we run the risk of like missing the playoffs. To me, it's like bring on Denver. Let's play them. Because I also really do believe we win one game, everything changes. I just think a lot of it is just mental. I just think, part of it is just Denver's really good. Don't get me wrong, but it's the same result every time. That tells me it's a mental thing. It's a mental lapse. And just like the Clippers, as soon as we beat the Clippers, that was it. We never lost to them again. Or we did, but we also were missing LeBron and stuff like that. So but my point is like we got over that hump and everything opened. You saw things differently, right? That's how I feel about Denver. I think as soon as we get that first win, everything's going to change. Everything. But we'll see. Time will tell. Again, Andrew, really appreciate you. And yeah, I'll take any matchup. Give me any of them. Any of them. But anyway, I'm going to get on out of here, everyone, so I can get to work, go stretch, take a little break, and then start recording, doing my thing. I appreciate you all so very much. Seriously, thank you all for hanging out with me. Hit that like button on the way out. How many likes do we got? Let's see. Can we get to it better be at least 100, likes. We had like 250 people at one point. We're at 67 likes. Come on, hit some like button. We got 130 people in the stream. Just take a quick second, please. It really does helps me out a ton. I know I'm sure you guys get sick of like YouTubers like hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, but it's our currency. It's how we stay alive. So please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Everyone that gave me super chats, seriously, thank you all so very much. Helps me out a lot, helps me a ton. As you can see, upgrading with a new camera, doing big things. So the money's going somewhere, I promise. You know, upgrading new cameras. I have some like little mics for this type of thing coming, little like pin mics that are supposed to be really good. Apparently they're awesome. So we'll see. I should get that in a couple days and then test some stuff, and I can hook it up to basically everything I have. So then the background, see, we're slowly progressing. Now I got like good editing software stuff, and we're doing like upgraded videos. We're trying to do big things here, or I'm trying to do big things. It's just me. I'm saying we, like there's like a whole team. Like, no, it's just me, myself, and I. But appreciate you guys. Seriously, you guys are awesome. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's go get this W against the Milwaukee Bucks and keep this win streak